This is all about Raving Fans. It's based on two different books. If you don't learn anything else in this conference, buy these two books. Raving Fans, it's an older book, but the concepts that it talks about are extremely important and they are still relevant in 2025. Disney University, written by Doug Lipp. He is an amazing speaker. If you ever get the chance to hear him, look him up. He's on YouTube. He's got a handful of videos. Everything is based on Disney's version of how they do guest service, and they are amazing at what they do. They are considered to be one of the top echelon companies as far as guest service, and they have a whole different business model that's called Disney University. You can actually attend. You don't have to work for Disney. Now, why do you care about a raving fan? A raving fan is someone that's going to come visit you frequently and then brag about how awesome your business is. They're going to be worth about $1,300 minimum to you a year. So imagine how many people you would need that are raving fans to generate the sales revenue you want if they're giving you $1,300 a year. QSRs. A QSR restaurant is McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. And I know you're better than that, but they are in a model that we're very similarly operate. 9% of QSR guests repeat a minimum of 15 times a month. They do it either out of habit, because I'm going to eat at McDonald's every day of the week, because of their work, or that's just how they spend their disposable income. So 15 times a month. So imagine if you have 9% of your guest base coming to see you at least half the time you're open. Because remember, QSR is open all 30 days in the month, so they have 9% of their guests come half the time they're open. Service culture that sells for you, that's what you're going to develop. Because that's the only way that you're going to win. Because your guests have a choice. They can choose your food, or they can choose the experience. The experience is what matters. A satisfied guest, and there are a bunch of food truck owners that will say, Bill, I've got 500 five-star reviews. Okay, they're satisfied. A satisfied customer is somebody that isn't mad at you yet. There are many people that will get upset with you when you make something wrong, or you're a little bit slow today. And they've given you that 5-star review, but they're not a raving fan. They're not committed to your business. They're just satisfied. Satisfied is not good enough. Disney doesn't sell theme park tickets. Disney sells memories. We were talking last night. We were driving home after dinner. We were all tired because I talked to more people yesterday than I've talked to any other show that we've done. And we're driving home. We're talking about Disney, of all things. All of us in the car have kids of varying ages. Thank goodness all mine are grown up and mostly moved out. Mostly. But I shared a story with the folks in the car with me. We go to Disney World. I'm a big fan of Walt Disney World in Florida. I live in Florida. And one of the things that Disney does to create that magical experience is something that most people just don't even notice. As you leave the park, and I believe this was in the Epcot Center, as you leave the park and the lights start to dim, the sun's going down, the sidewalks light up with little lights, but the lights flicker and come and go. They raise and fall. So it's all done with the little light. Oh, can't even remember what they call it now, but anyway, they would come and go. My daughter, 4 years old, first time at Disney, and she's walking out with us and she's seeing those lights, come and go, all different colors, and she's bending over trying to pick them up. Because to her, it's magic. She's wanting that magical experience. And yeah, it costs us a bunch of money to go to Walt Disney World, but that memory, it's all worth it. You're going to do the same thing on your food truck. You're building those memories. It's not an accident. You don't luck into hiring great food service people. You absolutely do not. You have to go find them. You have to create the system. There are many people that will do an awesome job. I've been working in this industry since 1977. When I was hired, I was one of those teenagers that everybody hated. Oh my God, teenagers. Well, the same management in 1977 complained about, oh, teenagers don't want to work. We didn't have cell phones to whip out every 2 seconds, but they still would complain about us not working like they used to when they were young. I'm 67 years old, or 66 years old. I'm trying to make myself older. 66 years old, and I still whine about the teenagers, the ones that are today. And I'm thinking, well, that's the same complaint they said about you 50 years ago. It doesn't change. The system that you create, though, will make the change, make the difference. A guest service experience is what you want to create for your food truck. That turns that casual guest, the one that comes up because they're hungry, it turns them into a raving fan that promotes you for the best price possible, and that's free. You're going to create a team culture where your crew is invested in guest service as you are. And then you want to give the system that you're creating gives you daily habits to plus the show. That's what Walt Disney called it, plussing the show. Even when you're buried in tickets. Walt Disney, when he opened both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, would go into the Magic Kingdom and he would ride the rides. They had scripts built for all of those folks. This is what you're supposed to say when this particular thing happens. So if you've ever ridden the Jungle Cruise, you've heard the little canned speech that all the different captains have. They talk about different jokes along the ride and things that are happening around, all done robotically. They're acting like they're guiding the ship, but they're not. The ship's on a little rail, so they can't mess anything up, and that times the ship so that it's at the right place at the right time for the little hippo to come up out of the water, or for them to tell the joke about, you're going to get to see the backside of water as you go around the backside of a waterfall. Walt Disney, got on one of those cruise ships, and he's just there with a whole bunch of other guests, and he's watching his captain of the boat. The captain was phoning it in. He was not telling the jokes with any sense of urgency, no sense of comedic timing. He wasn't doing what they expected him to do. At the end of the ride, Walt says, we're going to close this ride and we'll get all the boat captains together because they're not making this show exciting. And he listed off everything they were doing that was not the way they were taught, the way they were trained. For example, when the hippos come up, the boat captain, when they first did the ride, will pull out a gun, act surprised. He's shocked because a hippo popped out of the water and he's firing a gun, and then little droplets of water are splashing up out of the little river that we're on. He didn't do it. Oh, look, there's a hippo. Bang, bang. No one was excited. Walt Disney wanted the guests to be created or taken away to a whole different environment. And the captain wasn't making it happen. So plussing the show in a food truck is, what can I do to excite this guest that lets them know I'm thrilled that you're here? We run our food truck in a small RV park, so we don't actually move. So by working in a small RV park, I see most of the same people every single day. So I know most of them by name. But we do have transients that come in, park the RV overnight, and step up to order before they go on to their next destination. Bill works the window. I don't know why my wife wants me working the window. We could have a whole lot better face for our business than me. But when someone steps up, whether I know them or not, how you doing today? Welcome to the food truck. Would you like to try? And I say with that same enthusiasm, even though I may have been up very late at night working on something, I may have had anything else going on in my personal life that would make me have an excuse to not be excited. You have to teach your staff to be excited, to know how to plus the show, and have ready-made things. Have stickers. See a kid come up, here's some stickers. We sell lemonades. One of the things that we do on the food truck, so a lot of them attract kids. We have a cotton candy one. It's a blue lemonade. It is extremely sweet, but the kids love it. So when they come up, we're talking to them. We have little different straws that we give the kids when they come up that are different than the adult straws. And we have some adults that say, I want the funny straw. Okay, you can have one. Those things delight people. It helps them to remember us. Why does this matter? Well, you can't outspend any of the places that I ever worked for, plus all the other 10,000 or so restaurants that are out there. You cannot outspend them, but you can out-execute them at the guest level. You can impress those guests so that they want to come back to your business. So how do you get them to go from just being someone coming to consume your food to being a fan? Most food truck owners believe and will tell me, I'm in the food business. You're in the guest service business. The food is a product. That's what you sell. But the experience is going to make the difference for your business. Satisfied customers aren't loyal. I already said that. The satisfied guests will leave you the very moment they see something easier, cheaper, or shinier. We see it all the time. How many of y'all remember a company called Burger Chef? Okay, so I'm the eldest person in the room. Yay. Burger Chef was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and going into the 80s, almost as big as McDonald's at that time. Burger Chef was growing, but they weren't real bright about how they handled that growth. The issue with Burger Chef, and I know this because we were a Burger Chef franchisee, is Burger Chef got cocky. Oh, we know everything. Our burgers are flame broiled, and their service methodology was no different than anyone else. So as a guest, well, flame broiled, big deal. Your service is no better or faster than McDonald's. Burger Chef, there are none left. They had 2,200 some stores, which is a whole bunch of real estate, a whole bunch of equipment out there, a whole bunch of restaurants that are gone. We could talk about Chi-Chi's and some other restaurants that were fairly sizable that are no longer in existence because they didn't take care of the guest. The food is not what you sell. You sell the experience. You know your food is awesome, but everybody else knows their food's awesome too. A guest becomes a raving fan because of how you made them feel during those transactions, and then those feelings are reinforced by the quality of the food. So the first time somebody comes up to your food truck, their initial impression of you is not what you sell because they haven't eaten it yet. It's what you said to them. Did you care about them stepping up? How many of y'all go to your competitors to eat, check them out, and they are sitting back on the counter playing Flappy Birds on their phone. They see you, and they step up and don't say not a word to you. Not a word. That's the experience that reminds that person, reminds you that I'm not coming back here. The food could be perfect, but the way they made you feel already takes that food being perfect down a step. It no longer is a 5-star experience to you, and it's a 5-star experience, not 5-star food. When you do create those feelings that get reinforced by great food, you've also created a positive memory that's associated with your brand and your business. Then we're going to talk about White Castle. Another QSR, the oldest QSR in existence in our country. Ooh. There's a bunch of them in this area. I grew up in Ashland, Kentucky, a little teeny tiny town. It is about 2.5 hours away from Cincinnati, Ohio. In the 1970s, when the Cincinnati Reds had a good team that people liked watching, so Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, all the good players, my dad loved to go to Cincinnati, Ohio. And he would take me, and we would stop every single time at a White Castle, either to the game or on the way back. And Dad got the exact same thing every single time. It was always a bag of a dozen White Castle cheeseburgers. Nothing special about them at all. Dad got cancer in 1984. It was actually December of 84. And it was terminal. There was nothing they could do. So as he got towards the end of his life, he lost a lot of weight, became bedridden. My dad was 6'4", broad shoulders, big man, gentle as you could imagine. I would go see him every single day. I ran a store in Pea Ridge, West Virginia. And I would go run that store, see my dad on the way home every day. On my days off, I'd spend time with him. So on a Sunday, go see my dad. I'm off on Sundays. And Dad and I talk. We start talking about the Cincinnati Reds, talking about Johnny Bench and Pete Rose and all those players that we loved going to see. And Dad says, you know what? I'd like a White Castle. I said, say no more, Dad. So I got in my car, drove 2.5 hours to Cincinnati, Ohio, got a bag of White Castles, came back, microwaved my dad a couple of burgers, brought it to him in his bed. He tried to sit up. He took one bite. He said, this is so good. And he said, would you save the rest of it for me for later? I said, absolutely, Dad. So I wrapped it up, put it in the refrigerator, and then my dad passed away 2 days later. As far as I know, that was his last meal, because he ended up going in the hospital that night. Those kind of memories. White Castle is not a 5-star burger. There are literally hundreds of burgers out there better than White Castle. But that memory of me and my dad going to White Castle and eating those stays with me forever. And that's what you want to develop. You want to have those youngsters that come up to your food truck so excited to eat at the food truck, remember you as being the guy that served in something that created a memory with their family, with their dad or their mom, that they want to replicate over and over and over. So we're going to talk about engage, delight, and retain. First part is engage. This is marketing. That's why this is the marketing room. You want to capture attention, spark curiosity. You have two kinds of shoppers. You have the people that are impulse shoppers. They are seeing you on location. They're seeing that food truck, the wrap. They're seeing something about your business. Oh, I'm hungry. I think I will go try them out. That's an impulse shopper. They've seen your logo, your wrap, your menu perhaps. They might smell the food you're cooking. They're seeing the flags and the banners that you put up. They did not know you before they saw you. They're an impulse shopper. Then you got the other shoppers, the ones you've invited, the one on social media, the ones on your own marketing platforms where you talk to them. Say, hey, please come try my food. That's all marketing is. Please come try my food. I will impress you if you'll at least try my food. So you have marketing, you have social media. Those are two distinct things. The invited guest via social media. It's so weird that I can actually move this arm. The last talk I gave, I couldn't move this arm. In any case, social media. You're going to have a schedule. When you're busy, you're thinking about, I got to cook burgers, I got to, chop lettuce, I got to do different things. But you can schedule the social media to go post while you're doing the chopping of the lettuce or the patting of the hamburgers or cooking. So you want to schedule things about menu highlights. What's a picture of your food look like? And post that automatically to post. Behind the scenes looks. Video yourself chopping those onions. There are people that have not seen somebody chop onions really, really fast. When I go to wrap a sandwich, I am very, very fast at wrapping a sandwich because I've literally wrapped probably 100 or 200,000 sandwiches over the years. When I do it, people are impressed just from the speed. You make a video of that in real time, and they go, oh my goodness, look at that. There was a gentleman that put out a video a couple of years ago about a crawfish boil. Well, all he did was show people, this is how you crawfish boil, and he speeds up the video so you're not having to sit there and watch it boil. But at the end, he drains off all the water, and he has a picnic table lined with newspaper, and he comes up and dumps it out. So all the crawfish is going out, all the corn and all the andouille sausage and all the other things he had cooking together is being spilled out on that table. The video got like 1 million views because most people don't see that volume of food just being dumped out on the table. So whatever you think might be mundane, there are other people that will be super excited to see it. Customer testimonials. Where are you going to be located today? Where are you going to be located tomorrow? Share personal stories. Talk about your kids. People want to know the business owner. They want to know that you are a human being just like they are. They don't want to feel like, Another corporation. AMA, which is Ask Me Anything. Do a live video. There was a food truck in Pensacola that used to do live videos. He would turn on his little security camera, have it linked to the internet, and would be, we're going live. Ask me questions. And he'd have a little tablet. As people would ask questions, he would answer them while he's making burgers or serving a guest. You can do reels and shorts. Those are super popular right now. Create a newsletter. There's a food truck owner in Austin, Texas. His name is Richard. He owns a company called Eggman, E-G-G-M-A-N, Eggman ATX. You can look him up on the internet. He has a newsletter he sends out once a week, every Tuesday. I get it every Tuesday. He's been doing this now a little over a year. When I talked to him in July of this year, he was with us in Las Vegas. He had about 2,800 people on his newsletter list. I thought, oh, that's pretty good. I talked to him last week before we came here, and he's up to 5,000 just in a few months. He doesn't say anything that's earth-shattering, but follow him. If you want an example of what to do, follow Richard, Eggman ATX. His videos are quirky. They get several hundred, sometimes several thousand views. And his sales volume would put a McDonald's breakfast to shame. He's open 5 days a week, so 2 days less than a McDonald's. He's only open from 7 to 2, and that's it. And his sales volume, because I worked at McDonald's, is higher than the average breakfast volume at a McDonald's. And he is on truck number 3. He's only been open about 20 months. Here's the cadence of your post. Post about your food. Close-up pictures of your food show exactly what your food looks like. 60% of your posts should talk about food. That's what we sell. But we also got to sell the experience. So you're going to talk about you. That's my beautiful wife, Melissa, chopping an onion. You're going to talk about, this is what we do behind the scenes. And it can be the most mundane thing. There is a video, and I still cannot believe I'm going to say this. Follow these people, Pearson Street Smash Burgers and Melts, that are out of Canada. She's a different kind of marketer than Richard. Her stuff is more, I guess, what I would do as a marketer, more professional, more not quirky like Richard is. She posted a video of them cleaning their grill. Just cleaning the grill. It's like, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds. It's not real long. It's got, and she's done it twice. One of them has 66 million views. And the other one has, I think, 33 million. When I looked at that, and she's on Instagram, that's where it's at. When I looked at that, it's like, how are people watching this? Don't you know how to clean a grill? But apparently, it was entertaining enough to 66 million people. So, and that has nothing to do with selling food, because the grill's dirty and they're cleaning it. But it does show that they're keeping the grill clean. It does show that they care about their products. But they're not asking you to come try my food. They're showing how much we care about you as a person.
What's her name again?
Their name is Pearson Street, and it's spelled pear, P-E-A-R-S-O-N. Pearson Street Smash Burgers and Melts. When you look at their logo, it looks like a street sign. It's greens and orange, I believe. And then the last 10% of your social media posts should be about connecting with your guests. Talk about yourself. Talk about funny things. I had a St. Bernard, I told this in the class I gave yesterday, I had a St. Bernard that ate one of my shoes. And I had to go to work, and I didn't know he'd ate it till I had to find my shoe. I thought, crap, I don't have my shoes. And of course, there's skid-resistant shoes and the kind of shoes you have to wear in a fast food restaurant, and he ate it. And of course, he threw up a sole a couple of days later. But anyway, you're going to talk about those kind of things. Talk about your kids. Take pictures of your kids. Melissa and I have 7 kids. Take pictures of the family. We made most of them work for us at one time or another. And then, of course, you want to put your logos on there. So when somebody is scrolling, they're seeing your logo, your food, or you as a a person working the videos or seeing whatever's going on, oh, I know that food truck. You want to connect that image, that video, with your logo, with your brand. The invited non-social media marketing, this is the one that people don't like doing because it requires you to go out and talk to people face to face that you do not know. It takes some getting used to. Remember, I've been doing this a really, really long time, and for the longest time I was shy. You would not know it to hear me now, but I did not like talking to people. Because when you're working in a restaurant, they come to you. That's not a problem. Because I can talk to you when I know you are coming to eat. Hi, welcome to Burger King. Hi, welcome to Wendy's. I can do that. But when it was me going to their business to say, hey, I've got this hot dog cart, and I sounded as bad as I could possibly sound, like, maybe you'd come try it. When you are afraid to talk to people that you don't already have a business relationship with, it's tough. So a lot of food truck owners don't go out and market themselves. Let's do it on social media, because that works. It helps, but it isn't everything. You want to go out and actively market to introduce your business to new people. Why do you want to introduce your business to new people? Because a certain portion of your guests are going to die. They will no longer come to your business because they're dead. So you got to replace them. There's a certain portion of your business, of your guest base, that will move away. You got to replace them. There's a certain portion of your guest base that will change their life. They'll either do different dietary needs, or they will move to a different part of the city, or they will change jobs to where you're now no longer convenient to them. So you got to constantly replace them. That's why you market. You can't depend upon social media. And if you're, again, shy like I was, bring food. Go in and talk to people with a plate full of brownies, or some product that you sell that will carry well as you go talk to them. I would hide behind brownies like it was a shield. Because when you come in with food, hey, I would like some brownies. Great, here's some brownies. Would you post this in your break room to let your staff know that I am down the corner, and I'll give them a discount if they come in their uniform.
We do that exact thing with smoked cornbread.
There you go.
We went to our local businesses around the area, introduce ourselves, they give them some food, that way they get the food in their mouths, and they get a little experience with
That's
us.
it.
And then it just derives into another thing.
It does.
Before you know it, you're doing a company event.
Absolutely. I like what you said, getting food in people's mouths. That's the key.
Yep.
When you're in a food truck rally, food truck event where there's multiple food trucks, most people, unless they're going there for a specific food truck, are walking up and down. What's this guy sell? What's this guy sell? What's this guy sell? The ones that win the day are the ones that are out there, hey, would you like a sample?
That's us.
There you go. You got to do that. I have been to many food truck rallies where people do not even acknowledge that I exist. I'm 6'3". How do you not see me? Say something to me. Because if you don't, I'm not buying your food. Because your personality is going to translate in that food. You don't want people saying, that was fine. We all know that as a spouse. When the spouse says, it's fine, we're in deep trouble. You don't want your guests saying, it's fine. You want them saying, it's amazing. I have got to come back, and I'm going to bring my friends and family. The 5 pillars of delight: speed of service, food quality and presentation, personalization and hospitality, sensory branding, real-time feedback. Let's do them one at a time real quick. Let me see my time. Ooh. Yes, Bill talks really fast. We're going to go real quick. Speed of service. Surveys on fast food speed of service, SOS, speed of service. 76% of people that responded to the survey want their food in 5 minutes or less. So Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, and all the others, QSRs. So let's step it up a notch. Let's go to Chipotle or Five Guys, where they do cook in real time, or they assemble in real time. Five Guys is cooking when you order it. Chipotle is assembling when you order it. 5 to 10 minutes was acceptable. But 1/3 of the people said they have stopped going to a location because the service was slow. If you guys are part of my Facebook group, you know I'm all about speed of service. I live in seconds. I do not have the patience for someone to tell me it's going to take 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. Like, what are you doing? I know how food cooks. What are you doing? Why is it going to take 15 minutes? Are you that far behind that it takes 15 minutes to produce a burger? It doesn't take that long to cook it. What are you doing? The excuse most people give is they'll wait on good food. No, they won't. You have kidnapped their money. They can't go anywhere. Pay attention to your line. If you have a line 20 people deep and you're out there taking pictures of it because you're going to brag to everybody on your social media, look how busy we are. We got a line of people. Pay attention to the last guy in line. Does he ever actually get up and order food, or is he gone? Because Grandpa was too slow. This is what I do working at Burger King and Wendy's and all those other places. Pull out a stopwatch, now I can use my phone, and time. How long does it take that guy that's wearing that Hawaiian shirt to get up and place an order? And then how long is it taking to get the food afterwards? That's how detailed I am on the competitors and on how we operate. I am all about speed of service. Food quality and presentation. Does every single bite look the same? Do you have standardized recipe cards, visual aids for yourself and your staff? Do you have packaging guides on how things should be wrapped or boxed or put in a bag? You have to help your staff be awesome. On our food truck is me and Melissa. That's 2 people. We have worked together a long time, 26 years. We started, she came to Burger King and I was already there. I was the one that trained her. But we have job aids all throughout our food truck. And it's just the 2 of us to remind us how to do certain things. That's our coffees. And I think it's got lemonades on it. Yeah, it's got the lemonades on it too. And then the dirty sodas that we do. Those are our recipes. So Melissa can come over and make one if I'm busy. She has the same thing on her side of the food truck for every single product that we do. How it should be made, what should the amount of the ingredient be, and then the step. We got a heel of a bun, then we got the egg. And she's going to get mad at me because I can't remember. We have the egg, we have the meat, and we have the cheese. And then the meat, of course, varies from bacon to ham sausage. You have to have those job aids. Let's see, yeah, Andres is here. Andres has several food trucks. He has job aids for everything. And I looked at him and go, this is good stuff. I mean, because you can see mine's not real fancy. His are nice looking pictures and graphics and helping his staff be successful. You have to do that, even if it's just you all by yourself. You have to have that personalization and that genuine hospitality. You got to know their names, know their preferences. You got to surprise and delight them so they want to come back. That makes a difference. It's how you create a raving fan. If you can remember somebody's name, and especially the details, they hate onions or they love onions. They hate pickles. That turns that casual guest into someone that's going to post about you online and is going to come to see you more frequently. There was a waiter at Red Lobster, of all places. His name was Leonard. Big tall black guy, rather, very, very good at what he did. He remembered mine and Melissa's name every single time we went in there. He remembered it so frequently that we started to request to only sit in his section. Because as soon as he saw us, y'all sitting in my section, you know we are. He would have our drinks there pretty much by the time we'd sit down because he knew what we wanted to drink. Now, Melissa's a weirdo. Oh, crap, this is being recorded. Anyway, she reads the whole menu. We go to Red Lobster, or used to go to Red Lobster, probably once a week. I order the same thing because I know what I like and I'm going to order it. And Melissa, she reads the whole menu. Oh, look, we got this. And she will try something different. So poor Leonard would have to always ask her, and what are you having today, Melissa? And he'd look at me going, I know what you want. That's the kind of experience you want your guests to have. to where they feel like they're a part of your business for that 20, 30 minutes they're sitting there with you. And hopefully your speed of service is fast enough, it's only 5 to 8 minutes. You want to make them smile. You want to make them smell the magic. So now we're talking about engaging their senses. You can have a signature soundtrack. There is Maxstro in Orlando. That's where Andreas is. Maxstro is another really good food truck. Sells a burger that's freaking amazing. One of the few food trucks that I've gone to that his whole staff says, yes, chef.
Wow.
Every time they come out. He was talking to me and Melissa. We met him last year in Orlando, and he invited us out to his food truck. We go and sit down. He said, you have to try this. Well, absolutely, we'll try it. Whatever you recommend. While he's talking to us, one of his employees came out and said, here, taste this sauce, because it's a sauce they make on the truck. And he goes, yes, that's good. Thank you, chef. And then the person that brought out that spoon with the taste says, yes, chef. And they go in and finish out the sauce. And I'm like, this is impressive. That's his culture. And then the music is what I'm getting to. He's playing a radio station on Spotify that's just playing a very random mix of music. Nothing that's going to offend people. It's 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s kind of music. And every song was a little bit different. But I'm noticing everyone that's sitting there eating is going, this is pretty cool. And they're getting up and they're having fun with it. And he was off his truck talking to everybody. He wasn't doing the work. He was talking to everybody, making sure they were fed and happy. Scent marketing. Now, this is something that a food truck in Houston does. They have an Instapot. They put a big bunch of onions in it, and then they set it out on their counter and their serving ledge, and let it cook. They don't serve them because it's kind of out in the open and all that, but the smell brings people to go, what is that? I have to go check it out. And they will go check it out. And I was like, that's so genius. Because I always did it with hot dogs and stuff. We'd put, on our grill, we'd put onions, but we'd use them. Because we're doing the hot dog cart. It's like, why didn't I think of this? Just put a pot out there and just, cook them, burn them, whatever, it doesn't matter. Bacon's the same way. People smell bacon. One of the things that Burger King does, their hood system is pulling out the aroma of the flame broiling, but it's out in the atmosphere. So if you're driving near a Burger King, you can smell the flame broiled burgers. Anybody that does, like Adam, wherever he went, anybody that does barbecue, it's the same thing. Food is emotional. There's two of the strongest triggers of emotion are going to be sound and smell. And you got to have that real-time feedback loop. You want to capture the moment. Remind people, hey, leave us a review in real time. Incentivize that feedback. Hey, if you leave us a review, I'm going to do 10% discount, free dessert, whatever. You want them to feel like they need to give a review. I mean, you want an honest review because you want to react to the feedback. And then set a goal. We want to do 10 guest feedback responses today. We want to collect that information from the guests to know how we're doing. You don't want all fives. I worry about all fives because all fives are, place is awesome, food's great. You can't move a 5-star review up. It's the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s you can move up. Those are the people you got to care about. Why is it only a 2? What happened during the service that made you not love us? And then you got to react to it. Sadly, most food truck owners look at their business in a very personal way, which is good, but they automatically start making excuses. It's a competitor. That 1-star review, it's a competitor. It's not real. They just don't like me because I'm rich. They think I'm rich. You don't make excuses. You look at the 1-star reviews. Those you may not be able to move up because they hate you already. Because they start out with, I would have gave them a 0, but they won't let me give a 0. Those you may not be able to move up. 2s, 3s, and 4s you can. What is the pattern within those? How do I make them better? Turn your guests into regulars and referrals. Loyal guests equal a consistent and predictable revenue. Repeat guests spend 33% more than just that random, oh, your food. I just noticed your food truck. I'm going to go buy something. But somebody that knows you is going to be more willing to try different things on your menu. They're definitely going to be more willing to try things that make sense to you as a business owner to raise sales because they already know you. I'm seeing all the FTO people, they're going to turn the lights out on me. They did that to me in Houston. It's like, shut up, Bill. Quick show of hands. Who would rather have one guest that visits you 10 times, or would you rather try to find 10 brand new people? And the answer should be you want the one guest that visited you 10 times. Of course, I wrote that stupid. It's like, oh, they got to put their hands up for both sides. I should read these before I actually post them. Anyway, key areas. We're going to talk about loyalty real quick before she chases me away. Loyalty programs, you got to have one. It can be digital, it can be old-fashioned like the punch cards. You got to have one. Give people a reason to come back. You can have digital touch points, so please leave us a review. Have that QR code. People like snapping QR codes. Where does it go? Taken straight to wherever you want your reviews to be, Facebook or on Google My Business, whatever Google's calling it now. But you want to have it to where they can get to it easily. You want to set up a referral system. Bring a friend and we'll buy you lunch or we'll give you half off. And then have social sharing. If you share this post, I will give you, free appetizer, free dessert, free drink. Drinks are, I'm acting like the lemonade thing's still up there. The lemonade's super cheap. Give away a lemonade, and it delights people, especially when you put the different flavors in it. Repeat guests spend 33% more. I already said that once, I'm going to say it again. Simple, scalable loyalty programs. Keep it simple. Punch card. People like progress. So if you have a punch card system, punch 2 or 3 of them already. Because they feel like they're closer to the goal and more likely to continue the momentum you already gave them. If you start them out with, you got to have 10 and they have no punches, your card's going in the trash because they don't have that connection to you already. You can do the digital app, same way. You can set up a tier system. 5 visits equals a free something. 10 visits equals a bigger free something. Don't be afraid to do those kind of things. There's my business card we used to do on the hot dog cart. Those 7 stars says collect them all underneath. And that is my real phone number. My phone's turned off. Ha ha. Anyway, those 7 stars, when people say, what are those? Well, when you come back to the hot dog cart, I'm going to punch those every single time you come. Collect 7, you get a free hot dog. And I say, you know what? I'm going to give you 1 or 2 punches right now just because you're a good guy. Oh, thank you. Don't be afraid to give stuff away. Digital touch points. Stay in their inbox, just like Richard does every week. He's reminding people he exists. On his car, I thought this was such a neat idea. He lives in Austin, Texas. On his car, he has his logo. And he asks, if you see me out, snap a picture, and I'm going to give you a free coffee. So now people are snapping his picture. They got to put it on their social media to tag him, which means all their friends and family are seeing something new. And all he's doing is giving away a coffee. You can do the text messaging. We have a couple different vendors here that do that. Check them out. And of course, do your own social media. You can ask questions, show behind the scenes, give them VIP treatment, VIP menus. You want to turn all your guests into ambassadors where they are bragging about how awesome you are. Set up a hashtag that makes sense to your business so that makes it searchable and easier. And please come see me in booth 606 out on the main expo floor. Thank you guys so much.